So from your 51 students total, anyone has gone for any internship or not available for this semester, or everyone is present? CR. All 51 are attending this semester, or some students have gone for any internship, etc. Any CR present right now in the class? Okay. So both B1, B2 batches, have you submitted your lab assignment on time? Everyone? Okay. Good. Okay, so now let's start. So in the last class, we were seeing the object-oriented programming properties. So I am telling you all this right now is because first we have to decode what is the subject, object-oriented analysis and design. So the first part of a subject is object-oriented, means everything we are going to do in this subject will be with regard to the OOPS properties only. Basically, in simpler words, if I put this, whatever models we are going to draw or study in the subject, that will be from the perspective of object oriented. Why? Because after we created this model, the next stage is the coding part. Okay, next stage is the coding part. So after you create the models in UML, those models should be object oriented in their understanding and pattern so that you can code them using any OOPS language. That is the main purpose why I am saying this object oriented term here. Okay, so the what were the properties of object oriented? Right from here. First, this was the encapsulation, means collaborating or grouping similar functions and their data types together. This is known as encapsulation, and this one box is known as one object. This is the other object, and so on and so forth. Then the next is the abstraction. What is abstraction? Suppose in your object or in your module or in your program, you have lots of function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4, 5. You have lot of data members also, x1, x2, x3. So many things are there in your program, but everything is not necessary to be shown to everyone. Okay, for example, suppose your project manager has asked for your code, then you need not show him everything in your program. Suppose your program is for the factorial, then you just show him the factorial function. ऊपर का hash include any other function, how you have taken input, how you are producing output. If this doesn't concern your project manager, then you need not show these things to him. Only the most important thing, that is the factorial program, you will show him that. One very cliche example is regarding the abstraction, that is, suppose you are turning on the fan or light. So when you turn on the fan or light, you are concerned only with the final output, that if I'm turning on the light should be on. Whatever happening in the background, how the systems or circuits are connected, how the current is flowing, you are not concerned with that. So that is only abstraction, that you have to show only the important thing that are necessary for your program. Uska fayda kya hota hai? Firstly, the interface is simpler. Okay, all the functions are not connected in the form of a spaghetti. Everything is simpler in visualization, or you can say everything is simpler by looking at it. Next, reduce the impact of change, means any change which will happen. For example, suppose you have to modify a 50,000 line code, then you modify, you do whatever you want to do, but you show only the final output. You need not show all the modifications to everyone. So that reduces the impact of change. If any change is happening in the background, it doesn't bother the end user because you are not showing that. So that is abstraction. Next comes the third important thing, that is inheritance. So I think I started with inheritance last time, right? So what is inheritance? Suppose there is a class A. It contains, suppose, data members max and min, and there are suppose two functions, add function and subtract function in your class A. Now if I create its child class B, so it will mean that B already knows what is max, what is min, what is add, what is subtract. You वैसे अगर किसी एक क्लास का कोई भी डेटा मेंबर this या कोई भी डेटा फंक्शन you have to use in another class, what you used to do, you used to create object of this class A, like A obj1 object1. Then through this obj1 you used to call this max, min, add, subtract, right? But if there is a class which is a child or which is inherited from this class, it simply means that this class B knows everything of this class A. Whatever is present here, B knows everything of this class A. You need not create separate objects of A here and then access them. Like you directly can call add function here and B will know whatever is add. The condition given, everything is public right now. Okay, I'm not talking about private and all those stuffs. Okay, everything is public here. With that sense, I'm talking about. So that is inheritance in simply put. Fine. Like here, suppose you have three functions. One is text box, one is select function. In HTML, I'm talking about, and third function is checkbox. Suppose you have three functions or three classes. You can assume anything. You have three modules basically, and in every module, for example, in text box, you need to define hidden. You need to define inner HTML. You need to define these click and focus function again. Then again in this function, select function, you again have to define these four things again. In this checkbox function, again you have to write the code for these four things. So in all these functions, you have to write the same thing again and again. So what is the best thing you can do? You can write whatever code you need in one class and you inherit everything from that. तो उससे क्या होगा, ये सारी चीजें का कोड, whatever the code, suppose this code is 50,000 lines. So you have to just write this 50,000 lines once only, and you can directly call them in all these three functions, in this text box also, in this select also, in this checkbox also. अगर ये नहीं होता, so what you have to do, ये 50,000 lines यहाँ भी लिखनी पड़ती. In the text box you would have to written here also 50,000 lines, and again here also you have to written 50,000 lines. This is how procedure programming languages work. कॉपी पेस्ट भी अगर कर रहे हो, so again you are writing 50,000 lines. तो उससे होगा क्या, कंपाइलर को has to compile this plus this again and again, right? So the time taken to execute your program will increase. So this is the benefit of inheritance. Okay, now the last property we have seen, encapsulation, that is grouping up of objects. Abstraction, that is showing only the essential elements. Inheritance, that is using all the properties of a class or inheriting everything from the parent class to the base class, so that you don't have to write the code again and again. ओके, अगर किसी प्रोसीजरल प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में ये चीज लिखनी होती है जो मैंने अभी बताई, 50,000 लाइंस हियर, 50,000 लाइंस हियर, 50,000 लाइंस हियर, तो कैसे लिखते हैं? You would have written a switch case, simply put like this. You would have written a switch case. Case 1 select के लिए you would have written everything. Then case 2 text के लिए you would have written everything. Case 3 checkbox के लिए you would have written everything. और अगर स्विच केस भी नहीं बनाना है तो सिंपली तीन फंक्शन बनाते हैं अलग अलग. Getting it? Now the last thing comes polymorphism. So what is polymorphism? Tell me what you understand by polymorphism. ये सब तो पढ़ा है वैसे तुम लोगों ने. What is polymorphism? Overloading, writing, same function, different string. Okay, yes, everyone is right. So polymorphism is simply put, you are using one function. Oh wait, yeah, you are using one function to execute many different things. For example, suppose you have a function, say size, or say area. You have a function named area. Okay, now I will define its argument like this: int x area. I will define its arguments like int x comma int y. Okay, so this will execute the area of a square or area of a rectangle. In this case, this will execute the area of a rectangle. Again, I will define the same function area, and this time I will give the argument as int x. This is how polymorphism is differentiated. That you are using the same function area, but the arguments you are varying. In the first case, you have given int x comma int y, because when I'll call something like this, area 2 comma 5, so it should execute the area of the rectangle. But when I give something like this, area 3, so it should execute the area of the square, because यहाँ argument एक ही है. So if you want to execute the same function name again and again, you can just vary the argument here and rest of the code would remain same. अगर ऐसा नहीं करोगे तो क्या होगा? Again this switch case scenario will come. For example, suppose this was your one function text box, this was your another function select, this was your another function checkbox, and in all these three functions you have to write one function name as render. In सभी modules में text cases select checkbox you have to write one function render, but the render of text box will work for this, the render of select will work for this, the render of checkbox will work for this, but you have to write the same function. बाकी सारी functionality same होंगी, only the arguments will vary. So what you have to do in a procedural language, you have to write some select switch cases like this. Select के लिए switch case लिखोगे, उसके लिए render. You will write the switch case for text, उसके लिए render. You will write the check box, उसके लिए render. Right? Now, what you can do with the help of polymorphism, you can just vary these arguments inside it. Just vary these arguments inside it, and the same code you can use for all these three modules or classes. So see, basically, if you see all these encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, what all these things are doing, these are trying to make our job easier. एक बहुत ही बेसिक सी चीजें सारी चीजें कर रही हैं. Firstly, they are making the code reusable. They are trying to make everything reusable so that you don't have to write same amount of lines every time. If you have written the code once, just try to use that code somehow in your program. Either you use polymorphism, or if you can inherit that class, you do that, or you can make some objects of that class, you do that, but don't try to repeat. So the best or the most important thing that object-oriented programming does is it allows the reusability of your program. In all these examples, if you see, one thing is very common. We are trying to reuse the same code again and again so that we don't have to write the code twice or thrice. Right? So if I give you an overall picture, what everything in OOPS is doing, for example, encapsulation. What encapsulation does? इसका benefit क्या हो रहा है? It reduces the complexity. Why? Because in procedural language, earlier क्या हो रहा था? अगर if you have function x1, x2, function f, x2, so everything was interacting with one another. So एक Maggie noodles type का situation बन जा रही थी. But what this encapsulation did, if suppose function f1 and x1 are similar, so it will group them into one object. If function f2 and x2 are similar, it will group them into another object so that ये आपस में interact करें and these can interact together. So it reduces the complexity of your code. Or obviously code reusability तो ये दे ही रहा है. Okay, if you have made one object of this program and you have made another object of this program, just how many times you need the same code, just use these objects again and again. Okay, so you have written the program only once, but it allows the code to be reusable again and again. What does abstraction gives? The benefit. See, these are very general statements. Whatever I am written, a complexity. दो चीजें तो बहुत ही सिंपल है, यही दो चीजें. Firstly, it will reduce the complexity. What does OOPS language? ये benefits है of OOPS programming language और OOPS concept के basically benefits है. सबसे important benefit है, it allows the programs reusability. You can use everything again and again. Obviously, it will reduce the complexity. Inheritance क्या कर रहा है? Same thing in a different language I have written. Eliminate redundant code. Okay, एक क्लास में एक कोड लिख लिया तो उसको बस क्लास बी में इनहेरिट कर लो. Don't write it again and again. Polymorphism, again, it is doing the same thing. Got it? Any doubts? कोई दिक्कत इसमें? Now I told you the OOPS benefit, object-oriented programming concepts या OOPS language के benefit, right? Subject क्या है हम लोगों का? Object-oriented analysis and design. So why this object-oriented term here? ये जितना भी लिखा हुआ है, घूम फिर के मतलब इसका same ही है. That you have to reduce the complexity of your system and you have to increase the code reusability. Getting it? एक बहुत ही बेसिक टर्म में पहले ये समझा देता हूं तुम लोगों को. See, object oriented analysis and design. In the lab I have told you, you have UML, and then the third step is coding. Okay, this is the analysis and design part. This is the blueprint of your code or your system, what your system will look like, that blueprint, and this is the final coding. So when I say object oriented analysis and design, okay, object oriented analysis and design means whatever, for example, you have given a, you have to make a security system. So there are two ways to write the code for this security system problem. You have to design a security system. There are two ways. First is the very traditional approach, or procedural programming language. There will be no OOPS concept, no inheritance, no polymorphism, no encapsulation, nothing. You write the code in simplest form of procedural programming language. Just write the code in procedural programming language. This is the simpler way. What OAD tells that you don't write it in the form of procedural language. Writing तो बाद में आएगा. सबसे पहले क्या करो, जो security system you have to design, इसमें identify करो what are the things, what are the components present in your model. In your security system, you have one user, you have one dashboard, you have one say login page, you have one say logout page. So you first identify all the components of your system, but from the perspective of objects. Means everything will be an object here. When I say object, it means there should be classes, there should be objects, there should be interfaces, there should be components. So you identify your security system problem in the form of object. So that is object oriented. Getting it? Analysis means identifying the problem. देखो दो वर्ड्स हैं यहाँ पे, फर्स्ट एनालिसिस एंड सेकंड वर्ड इज डिजाइन. एक चीज हमेशा याद रखना, एनालिसिस मींस प्रॉब्लम एंड डिजाइन मींस सॉल्यूशन. एनालिसिस ऑफ समथिंग मींस यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ दैट थिंग. उस चीज को बनाने में क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकती हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू आर मेकिंग अ सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम हियर, what are all the problems that could come in the system, or what are the things that you need. Requirement analysis भी इसी में आता है. For example, you need a actor, you need a dashboard, you need a login page, you need a logout page, you need this color, you need these hardwares, you need these softwares. Okay, these hardware setups you need. All these things will come under the analysis part. Means identify your problem. When I say design, it means now give the solution of your problem. Now how it will interact with this, how this login page will work internally, how this logout page will work internally. You provide the solution. So that is object oriented analysis design. Okay, means whatever problem you have in your system, first see that system with the lenses of object oriented. Everything you have to see from the perspective of objects. There should be classes, there should be inheritance, polymorphism, there should be classes, objects, interfaces, components, deployments. ये जितने टर्म्स में बोल रहा हूँ, everything comes under the object oriented concept. OOPS concept में ही सब आता है. उन चार चीजों के सिवा भी these things come under the OOPS concept. So OAAD simply means that whatever system you are going to design, like this security system you have to design. So you have to look at the security system from the perspective of objects. इसमें से objects को निकालने हैं. Then this analysis word means what are the problems or requirements of your system. चाहिए क्या. अब ये सब तुमने एक बार देख लिया कि I have these. No, analysis phase says what are the problems जो system को बनाने में आ सकती हैं, and what do you require to solve these problems. Design means now provide the solution, provide your solution. अभी तक मॉडलिंग नहीं की है मैंने, अभी तक सब कुछ पेपर में हो रहा है. I haven't drawn this diagram right now. Everything is in document part in OAD. Okay, finally when you give everything, तुमने object oriented, you have analyzed the problem and you have given the solution of that also. Finally ये सारा चीज as a input जाएगा UML में. UML will get the input of OAD, and now based on the input it will draw the model. तब ये इस तरह का visualization आएगा. This kind of model will come in UML. क्यों UML बना रहे हैं हम लोग? Why not directly give it to coding? जब अगर सब आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया तो डायरेक्टली राइट द कोड फॉर इट. Why we are giving it to UML? Basic layout. Okay, tell me, last class I told you this. इवन लैब में भी बताया व्हाई यू नीड यूएमएल. इफ यू हैव आइडेंटिफाइड एवरीथिंग इन ओएडी, ये प्रॉब्लम है, ये सॉल्यूशन है, डायरेक्टली गिव इट टू कोडिंग. User convenience, blueprint, design purpose. Yes, okay, as I've told you, in your for your system, for the security system, everyone doesn't knows coding. If a user has asked you to make a security system, he's a very naive person, he doesn't knows anything about a coding. So you have to show him a blueprint. And there are other parties also in your team, for example business analysts, and some developers who are not good in coding. When your project manager, this person doesn't knows the tits and bits of coding. So you have to show them some model that okay, jo bhi hamari problem, whatever we have analyzed and designed, this system will finally like this. And if everything is fine, now we will code it out. So this is overall the picture. Okay, for example, object oriented analysis and design. First you have to look everything from the perspective or lens of objects, and you have to identify इसमें क्या क्या objects हैं, what are the classes there, what are the components there, what are the deployments there, what are the interfaces there, inheritance कहाँ हो रहा है, association कहाँ हो रहा है, generalization कहाँ हो रहा है. Everything you have to look from the perspective of object oriented. Then you have to analyze your problem, कि problem क्या आएगी system को बनाने में, क्या क्या requirements I need, what hardware we need, what software we need to make the system. Then comes the design purpose. Now finally give your solution. Design means solution. You have to give your solution that okay, I have identified the problems, now these are my solutions. Finally इसका जो output होगा, that will go as an input to UML, and UML will make a blueprint of your system, that okay, finally system कुछ ऐसा दिख रहा है. After that the coding phase will come. So ये एक overall I have given you a blueprint of this subject. करना क्या है इसमें basically. Got it? Any doubts? Any doubts? So as I've told you, what is analysis? Analysis means investigation of the problem. बस इतना याद रखो, analysis का means problem and design का means solution. So in your subject, object oriented analysis and design. Analysis word means problem. You have to identify the problem. You have to identify the requirements, what your system needs, what your object needs. Every problem that can come in your system, you have to identify that. And design means now finally give the solution of your problem, that how the system will be built, कैसे बनाओगे सारी चीजें, how you will place everything, कौन सी चीज किससे interact करेगी. If you are making a login page, how the user will interact with the login page. एक बार user ID डालोगे, then what will happen in the second stage. If you are, how the cache is clearing. एक बार ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए ना कि you have entered your user ID and login page and you logged in, but ये यहाँ से रब ही नहीं हुआ, nothing is cleared. So all these things you have to give the solution in the design part. And when everything comes, analysis and design, okay, when everything is finalized from the OAD, then we will give it to UML for design part. So this is the differentiation which I have given here between the analysis and design. Even if you don't rote memorize this, whatever you have understood from the perspective of analysis and design, just write in your own words. No need to rote memorize anything, but this is I have given from the book. Okay, like analysis focuses on the problem, and it is very the general behavior. For example, I need, for example, login, I'm doing the login. So while doing login, these many problems can come, generalized problem. Like मैंने पास्ट में भी एक ऐसा सिस्टम बनाया था, and at that time these many issues came. So हो सकता है कि ये सिस्टम जब मैं बना रहा हूँ तो ऐसे ही कुछ कुछ इशू आ जाए. तो this is a very generalized kind of behavior analysis. You do analysis based on the previous history you have in your mind. For example, अगर अभी भी आप, you are, suppose you are a game developer and you want to develop a new game XYZ. So while developing this game, जब इसका एनालिसिस करोगे कि इसमें क्या क्या चीजें आई नीड, व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स आई कैन इनकाउंटर. सो प्रॉब्लम्स इनकाउंटर करते वक्त यू विल थिंक दैट ओके, पास्ट में भी आई ट्राइड टू मेक अ गेम लाइक दैट and these many problems came. So you will wrote down those problems also. So that is meant by generalization. Separation of concerns means if you are making a system, वहां पे डेवलपर के लिए कंसर्न्स कुछ और होंगे, टेस्टर्स के लिए कंसर्न्स कुछ और होंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल डेवलपर्स के लिए कंसर्न होंगे प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस से क्या इशू आ रहा है, how the overall thing is working inside. Testers के लिए क्या concerns होंगे? That after the developer does this, what are the bugs that can come in my program? Login page, logout page refresh नहीं हो रहा है. The dashboard is not stable. The system is not stable. It is not as per the user's requirement. So these separation of concern simply means for every stakeholder, the concern will be different, and it will give you the overall system structure. Okay, now since obviously बात है, अगर generalized behavior दे रहा है, if you are analyzing something, so you are analyzing it based on the past, a general analysis, like ऐसा ऐसा past में हुआ था, हो सकता है ये हो जाए problem future में भी, right? So it gives the overall system structure to you. Then functional requirements, as I told you, if you are making a security system, what are the things you need, what are the exact programming language you need, what are the hardwares you need, what are the softwares you need, exactly you want to tell you. See, वैसे देखा जाए तो नेव टर्म में बहुत ऐसा कोई डिफरेंस नहीं होता है एनालिसिस एंड डिजाइन में, बट इफ वी आर रीडिंग द सब्जेक्ट ओएडी देन यू शुड नो द एग्जैक्ट मीनिंग. एंड एग्जैक्ट मीनिंग, जस्ट रिमेंबर वन वर्ड, that analysis is the problem. You are trying to identify the problems, and design is simply you are trying to give the solution to that problem. Finally, your design finally concerned with how for that particular model I'm trying to give my solution. For example, if I'm drawing this security system diagram, so उसके लिए एनालिसिस पार्ट विल बी कि मैंने पास्ट में भी सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम्स बनाए थे, एंड इन द पास्ट आई एनकाउंटर्ड दीज इश्यूज इन द सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम, सो आई विल लिस्ट आउट ऑल दोस प्रॉब्लम्स. बहुत ही जनरलाइज्ड टाइप का एनालिसिस हो गया. बट आई एम finally when I'm designing this security system, the design part comes, I will get the exact solution to this security system problem, like exactly which programming language I need, exactly which hardware I need, exactly what should be the duration of my project, exactly what is the user requirement, are we able to fulfill the user requirements or not. So the design comes with those solution part. Okay, now before you got this, whatever I've told you, OAD. So this was the basics for your subject, object oriented analysis and design. Now you have read software development lifecycle, right? What happens in a SDLC? What happens in a SDLC? First you have the requirement analysis, means the user will try to find, suppose you have to give this security system project to someone, you are the user, so you will try to find out the company to whom you want to give your software. So that is the requirement analysis, and then you will meet the project owner of that company and you will discuss that, okay, I need these things in my project, and the project manager and the user will agree upon something, and SRS document is created at this step. You have heard this term, na, in a software engineering, system requirement diagram software, the SRS document in which everything is mentioned about the users, whatever user, this SRS document is with everyone. इसके आगे के जो भी SDLC के phases होंगे सबके पास ये SRS document होता है. This SRS document basically एक reminder type का होता है that user wants these things. तुम अपनी मर्जी से कुछ नहीं कर सकते. You cannot, for example, if user has said that I need only 2 icons in my dashboard, login and logout, nothing else, then you cannot add anything on your own in the dashboard. You will just you will just monitor your project, or you will just draw your project on the basis of this SRS document only. This is created in the requirement analysis phase. Then comes the design part, the same design part which I talked about. Design means the solution to your exact problem. What kind of hardware I need here, how the hardware will interact with each other, what language I am going to use, everything. Before coding, the design part comes, that how I'm going to set up everything comes in the design part. Then the next phase is the actual coding or implementation part. Now the developers will start coding, operation teams अपना hardware setup कर देंगे, and everything will move on. This is the main implementation part. उसके बाद आता है testing part. If the coder has, see, in your companies either you are hired for this implementation role or you are hired for this testing role as a fresher generally. Okay, अगर ये machine learning वगैरह जॉब्स को हटा दे तो ट्रेडिशनली अब तक क्या हो रहा था, either you were hired as a software developer or you were hired as a tester. इन्हीं दो पोजीशंस के लिए people were hiring. So in that developing part or the coding or implementation part, basically you write the code, developers write the code, and in the testing part, tester tests whether everything is perfect or not. For example, login and logout page banaya developer ne, but that when it was sent to the tester found that after entering the login ID and login password, it is not getting cleared up. Everything is stored there only. So there is security problem. Another user can also log in. So any bugs, there is a bug cycle also in this. इसमें एक bug cycle भी चलती है. For our syllabus, it is not concerned, but there is a bug cycle also. ये iteration चलता रहेगा between the developer and the testers till the time everything is fine. Finally, after this, the project is deployed. इसमें भी you have must have read alpha testing, beta testing होती है, right? Alpha testing में क्या होता है? There are yellow box testing होती है ना एक चीज. You have heard this term? इतना important नहीं है for us. I'm just telling you. You have heard this? Yellow box testing. Shall I tell you or you know this? The way what happens in a yellow box testing? There are two kind of yellow box testing. One is alpha, one is beta. ये deployment stage पे होता है. After the tester tested everything, तो project deploy करने से पहले there is a yellow box testing. UAT भी बोलते हैं इसको. उसमें क्या होता है? Suppose if there is alpha yellow box testing, तो उसमें क्या होगा? The user which has given you the project, he will come to your company and he will check the project there only with the help of tester. मतलब फाइनली प्रोजेक्ट दिया नहीं जाएगा यूजर को. यूजर विल कम. फॉर एग्जांपल suppose you as a user has given the security system diagram. Okay, so after the testing phase is done, during the deployment phase, what you will do, you will go to the company and you will check whether everything is working fine or not before taking the project to home. That is known as alpha yellow box testing. Beta yellow box testing, what does this mean? यहाँ पे the software will be sent to the user to check at home. For example, जैसे होता है ना beta version of games release होते हैं. Before releasing any software, उसका beta version release होता है. Beta version of softwares, beta version of games are released in the market. So वो क्या होते हैं? Finally, जो final product होता है उसका एक trial and error version is released in the market. और उस पे सारे यूजर्स नॉर्मल वर्क करते हैं सो दैट अगर कोई एरर आ जाए बाद में तो उसको रेक्टिफाई कर दिया जाए एंड देन दे विल रिलीज देयर फाइनल मॉडल. फॉर एग्जांपल, अब इफ दिस सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम इज नॉट गिवन बाय यू, कंपनी, तो बैंक क्या करेगा? दे विल नॉट डू अल्फा टेस्टिंग. बैंक वाले नहीं जाएंगे वहां पे अल्फा टेस्टिंग. ask the company to send the beta version of this security system to the bank. So the company will come with the beta version of the security system and they will install it in the bank. And bank will keep on using real life application. They will test it in the real life situations. और फिर कोई error आएगी तो they will notify the company and finally after all the errors and bugs are removed, then the company will give the final version. ये तो सुना होगा किसी सॉफ्टवेयर का बीटा वर्जन रिलीज हुआ है. दिस इज अ वेरी कॉमन टर्म इन रियल लाइफ. सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग भूल जाओ, ऐसे भी होता है ना. गॉट इट? सो दिस हैपेंस इन द डिप्लॉयमेंट फेज. दिस इज ऑप्शनल. हो सकता है कि यूजर को इसमें कुछ नहीं करना, उसको ये सबसे मतलब नहीं है. ही सेड आई हैव गिवन यू दिस सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम, जस्ट गिव मी द फाइनल सॉल्यूशन. ये अल्फा बीटा से मुझे मतलब नहीं है. सो वो भी हो सकता है. फाइनली द प्रोजेक्ट कैन आल्सो बी डिप्लॉयड विदाउट दिस टेस्टिंग आल्सो. देन आफ्टर दिस प्रोजेक्ट बेस दिया है तो सर्विसिंग भी देनी पड़ेगी. सो कम्स द मेंटेनेंस पार्ट. सो दिस इज योर सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट लाइफ साइकिल. होल सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट लाइफ साइकिल वर्क्स लाइक दिस. अब इसमें थोड़ा सा मॉडिफिकेशन होता है ओप्स लैंग्वेज में. ठीक है, वैसे कंसेप्चुअली कोई मॉडिफिकेशन नहीं हुआ है, बट जस्ट वी हैव मॉडिफाइड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ यूनिफाइड प्रोसेस मॉडल. ओके, अब इसमें क्या है? सी हियर, दिस इज योर कम्युनिकेशन फेज एंड दिस इज योर प्लानिंग फेज. ठीक है, कम्युनिकेशन मीन्स यूजर वेंट टू द थर्ड पार्टी and he is communicating with the project manager that I need all these things in my system. Then in the planning phase, that project manager will set up his team of developers, operations team, business analyst, testers. He will set his team. They will meet in the meeting room and they will plan out all the requirements of the users. So इन दोनों को combine करके बोलते हैं inception. This is known as the inception phase of unified process model. Inception, you have just इंसेप्टेड एवरीथिंग, यू हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड एवरीथिंग, जिसमें यूजर ने कम्युनिकेट कर लिया और प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर ने प्लानिंग कर ली विथ हिज टीम. देन कम्स द मॉडलिंग फेज. मॉडलिंग इज योर डिजाइन फेज. व्हाट आर हार्डवेयर आई नीड, व्हाट ऑपरेशंस वी नीड, व्हाट color coding we need, व्हाट डैशबोर्ड वी नीड, ओके, सारे इंटरफेसेस वी नीड, एवरीथिंग जो भी डिजाइन वाला पार्ट है एसडीएलसी का, उसको बस रीनेम करके बोल दिया गया मॉडलिंग. So this planning and modeling, this together are known as elaboration. Okay, this communication and planning is together known as inception, and planning and modeling together known as elaboration phase of unified process model. Then comes the construction part. Construction is nothing but the coding part of SDLC. The coding or implementation part of SDLC simply means you are now coding everything. So this is known as the construction phase. Okay, then comes the deployment phase. Deployment is you are deploying the project to the user. चाहो यहाँ पे येलो टेस्टिंग भी कर सकते हो, अल्फा बीटा टेस्टिंग, एंड जो भी करना नहीं भी करना है तो डायरेक्टली डिप्लॉय द प्रोजेक्ट टू द एंड यूजर. डिप्लॉयमेंट फेज एंड कंस्ट्रक्शन फेज टुगेदर नोन एज ट्रांजिशन फेज. देखो सर कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है, ऐसा इसे क्यों बोलते हैं, वैसे ऐसा बना दिया गया, बुक्स में लिखा है तो बोलते हैं. ओके, और इस सिलेबस में है तो हम लोग पढ़ रहे हैं इसे, वरना है कुछ नहीं है, घूम फिर के एसडीएलसी की बात हो रही है. देयर इज नथिंग. ये जो मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ बोलने का तरीका अलग है, घूम फिर के एसडीएलसी है. Just the terms have been renamed. Okay, and why these two phases are known as inception? Why these two phases are known as elaboration? Because ऐसा ही है. Keep this thing also in mind. Okay, so don't say me sir ये planning और ये modeling को मिला के inception क्यों नहीं बोलते हैं? Because this has been designed in this format. Okay, but just understand the basic theme. हो क्या रहा है? Okay, now this deployment and construction phase known as transition phase. एंड वाई ये सब मैं बता के रहा हूं क्योंकि यूनिफाइड प्रोसेस मॉडल में एक ऐसा डायग्राम होता है. दिस डायग्राम इज देयर, फेजेस विद इन द साइकिल. अब इसमें क्या है, सी हियर, दिस इज योर इंसेप्शन मॉडल, जो भी मैंने पीछे बताया. इंसेप्शन मॉडल में क्या क्या था, कम्युनिकेशन एंड प्लानिंग. देन इट इज रिटन एज इलेबोरेशन. इलेबोरेशन मॉडल में क्या क्या है, नेक्स्ट टू प्लानिंग एंड मॉडलिंग फेज. आफ्टर दैट कंस्ट्रक्शन फेज. कंस्ट्रक्शन फेज में क्या है, योर कोडिंग. और ट्रांजिशन फेज में क्या है, कोडिंग एंड डिप्लॉयमेंट. राइट, सो दीज आर द फेसेस ऑफ यूनिफाइड प्रोसेस मॉडल जो ऊपर लिखे हैं. इंसेप्शन, इन इंसेप्शन में यू आर कम्युनिकेटिंग एंड एनालिसिस पार्ट इज आल्सो डन. इलेबोरेशन में एनालिसिस एंड डिजाइन पार्ट इज डन. कंस्ट्रक्शन में फाइनल कोडिंग इज डन. ट्रांजिशन में आफ्टर द कोडिंग एंड डिप्लॉयमेंट पार्ट इज डन. राइट, अब ये कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट्स है यार. Here, for example, suppose this business modeling. See, you don't have to rote memorize this. Just understand this meaning. और कोई पूछे what is unified process model, just write in your own terms. Doesn't matter. If you can draw this, very good. If you cannot draw this, just at least know these terms. ये चार phases के term पता होने चाहिए. What is inception, elaboration, construction, transition. Production तो बाहर हो गया कि finally everything is done. Okay, so you can write these requirements on your own also. सबसे पहली रिक्वायरमेंट क्या होगी, आई हैव टू मॉडल द बिजनेस और रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस. इन दोनों को एक साथ भी रख सकते हो. से माय फर्स्ट थिंग इज रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस. तो रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस दिस शोज यू द क्वांटिटी, किस फेज में कौन सी चीज सबसे ज्यादा हो रही है. दिस ग्राफ इज शोइंग यू द क्वांटिटी. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ आई से दैट आई हैव टू मॉडल माय प्रॉब्लम एंड रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस, मतलब वही एसडीएलसी का जो पहला फेज होता है, रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस करना है मुझे. द यूजर हैज टू इंटरेक्ट विद द प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर एंड दे हैव टू कम अप टू द एसआरएस डॉक्यूमेंट. तो वो सबसे ज्यादा कहां होगा, द मैक्सिमम विल बी इन द इंसेप्शन फेज. राइट, बिकॉज इंसेप्शन फेज में क्या है, इंसेप्शन फेज कंसिस्ट ऑफ द कम्युनिकेशन एंड प्लानिंग. तो यहीं पे तो रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस करोगे, यहां थोड़ी रिक्वायरमेंट यूजर से पूछोगे जाके. एनी कंफ्यूजन व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, क्लियर ना. यू वांट टू डू द रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस, तो रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस यही तो करोगे स्टार्टिंग के फेजेस में. यू विल डू द रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस हियर, नॉट हियर. कोडिंग करते टाइम थोड़ी यूजर से पूछने जाओगे कि अच्छा मैं तो कोड कर रहा हूं लेकिन बताओ तुम्हें चाहिए क्या था. जैसे होता है गोली मारने के बाद यू विल नॉट आस्क गोली क्यों मारी. यू विल डू एवरीथिंग इन द स्टार्टिंग. सो दैट इज व्हाट रिटन हियर, बिजनेस मॉडलिंग एंड रिक्वायरमेंट्स. यानी कि यूजर से यू आर आस्किंग दैट व्हाट आर योर रिक्वायरमेंट्स, टेल मी. सो दैट विल हैपन मोस्टली इन द इंसेप्शन फेज. थोड़ा बहुत इलेबोरेशन फेज में भी होगा. मीन सपोज ऐसा तो होता नहीं कि एसआरएस डॉक्यूमेंट एक बार बन गया तो इट विल नॉट अपडेट. एसडीएलसी साइकिल में क्या होता है, आफ्टर एवरी फेज यू आर चेकिंग दिस एसआरएस डॉक्यूमेंट और यूजर से भी रिव्यू लेते रहते हो. सो दैट इफ देयर कम्स एनी चेंज फ्रॉम द यूजर, और सपोज तुमने बना दिया इनिशियली यूजर ने बोला था मुझे ब्राउन कलर का डैशबोर्ड चाहिए, यू मेड द डैशबोर्ड इन ब्राउन, बट यूजर को अच्छा नहीं लगा बाद में, सो यू हैव टू चेंज दैट ऑल्सो, राइट। सो ऐसा नहीं है कि एक बार रिक्वायरमेंट यू डिड इन द इंसेप्शन फेज, बाद में उसकी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, बाद में भी पड़ेगी पर थोड़ी सी पड़ेगी, टिल द डिजाइन फेज। फाइनली व्हेन यू एंटर द कंस्ट्रक्शन फेज और द कोडिंग पार्ट, बहुत ही कम, बेयर टू मिनिमम। कोडिंग के बाद तो कोई पूछता भी नहीं यूजर से कि तुम्हें चाहिए क्या, बना दिया, जो लेना है ले लो। फाइनली पूरा पैसा लगा के इफ आई मेड योर सॉफ्टवेयर, अब नहीं चेंज करूंगा कुछ, पहले ही बताना चाहिए था। सो दिस ग्राफ इज एक्चुअली शोइंग यू द क्वांटिटी कि मुझे रिक्वायरमेंट्स और एनालिसिस फेज कितना इंपॉर्टेंस रखता है इंसेप्शन फेज में, कितना इंपॉर्टेंस रखता है इलेबोरेशन फेज में, कंस्ट्रक्शन फेज में और ट्रांजिशन फेज में। क्लियर। नेक्स्ट इज एनालिसिस एंड डिजाइन। फाइनली जो एनालिसिस एंड डिजाइन कर रहे हैं वो कहां काम करेगा? ऑब्वियसली इंसेप्शन फेज में ज्यादा इट विल नॉट हैव एनी इंपॉर्टेंस, बिकॉज इंसेप्शन फेज में यू आर जस्ट परफॉर्मिंग कम्युनिकेशन एंड प्लानिंग। हियर रिमेंबर दिस थिंग, इंसेप्शन फेज में क्या कर रहे हो? यू आर ओनली कम्युनिकेटिंग एंड प्लानिंग, डिजाइन वाला कुछ पार्ट यहाँ है ही नहीं अभी, राइट। सो दिस डिजाइन थिंग विल बी मोस्टली इन द इलेबोरेशन फेज। क्यों? क्योंकि इलेबोरेशन फेज में क्या है? व्हाट इज इन द इलेबोरेशन फेज? एक्चुअल प्लानिंग एंड मॉडलिंग और डिजाइन पार्ट। सी घूम फिर के सबका नाम एक ही है, इफ यू सी हियर ये दोनों चीजें एक ही हैं, घुमा फिरा के नाम बस बदल दिया गया है। इट इज लाइक अ कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स, ओके, कि ए भी ऊपर लिखा है और ए का नाम बदल के लेफ्ट में लिख दिया, जस्ट टू इंक्रीज योर सिलेबस, नथिंग एल्स। घूम फिर के सबका मतलब एक ही चीज है, एवरीथिंग इज सेम। यहाँ पे जो इलेबोरेशन है, व्हाट इज दिस इलेबोरेशन फेज? दिस इज नथिंग बट प्लानिंग एंड डिजाइनिंग फेज। और यहाँ पे ऑल्सो अगेन यू आर सेइंग कि मैं प्लानिंग और डिजाइन कहाँ करूंगा? गेटिंग? बस इट्स जस्ट द वे ऑफ रिप्रेजेंटेशन। So you just should, you can also write in your own words. Nothing you have to rote memorize. For example, someone says that बस ये नाम पता होने चाहिए, लेकिन these names are important: inception, elaboration, construction, and transition. If someone asks you to write the unified process model, you have to draw this diagram, and in that diagram you have to write these 4 terms compulsorily. ये तो लिखना ही है, यहाँ पे कुछ भी vary कर दो। यहाँ पे you can write as per your understanding of SDLC. So if you think that in the SDLC first phase is requirement analysis from the user, you write that. Second phase you think यहाँ पे SDLC के phases लिख दो इस तरह। That first phase is requirement analysis, तो requirement analysis will be more in inception phase, थोड़ा सा less in elaboration phase, उसके बाद खत्म होता चला जाएगा। Next SDLC phase is the design phase. So in the inception we will not do design, या तो यूजर से बात ही कर रहा है प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर से। फाइनली इन द इलेबोरेशन फेज, जहां पे प्लानिंग और डिजाइनिंग होना है कंपनी के अंदर, हियर द डिजाइन विल बी मैक्सिमम। फाइनली व्हेन यू आर कोडिंग, तो भी थोड़ा थोड़ा डिजाइन होता रहेगा, चेंज होता रहेगा, कम ज्यादा होता रहेगा एंड सो ऑन। बनने के बाद नो वन इज कंसर्न। एक बार प्रोजेक्ट इज डिप्लॉयड, ट्रांजिशन फेज इज व्हाट? योर प्रोजेक्ट इज गेटिंग डिप्लॉयड आफ्टर द कोडिंग। इन द डिप्लॉयमेंट फेज नो वन इज गोइंग टू आस्क यू व्हाट इज, अब डिजाइन में क्या चेंज करना है, जो पहले करना था कर लो। Next you can say is the implementation part. Finally means you are going to implement the code. तो यहाँ पे inception phase में we are not worried, elaboration phase में थोड़ा सा ही some persons are initially they were not worried, but जैसे 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 implementation phase की तरफ we started moving, this the importance of this implementation or coding part got increased. Or finally in the construction phase, obviously because construction simply means implementation only, it will be the maximum because here only you are coding, right? Yahan pe if you see the implementation part is here also, in the transition phase bhi yahan se thoda sa hai. Why? Because yahan pe you implemented the code, you given it to the tester. Suppose some bugs again came, then again you will send the code back to the developer, again he will modify the code and he will send you, right? So that's why you are seeing a little bit of graph here, that in the transition phase also there is a little bit of implementation and so on. Now see the testing phase. This is very important also because this is present everywhere. यहाँ भी है, यहाँ भी है, here also it is present, and यहाँ तो है ही है, ठीक है? Here it is reducing, but it should be here also. Why? It simply means tester, और टेस्टिंग इज एसडीएलसी में हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, फर्स्ट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस, फिर तुम डिजाइन करोगे, देन यू विल कोड, देन द टेस्टिंग पार्ट कम्स. सो इट डजंट मीन दैट यू आर डूइंग टेस्टिंग ओनली हियर. A little bit of testing is done here also, a little bit of testing is done here also, a little bit of testing is done here also. Testing is some testing. Risk modeling पढ़ा होगा ना सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग में. रिस्क मॉडलिंग क्या होता है? Have you heard this term, risk modeling? Have you heard this term, risk modeling? सुना होगा ना सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग में? Yes or no? Am I audible or not? You guys don't log in and just go, okay? It's an online class doesn't mean you will not listen. I think maximum people have logged in and they just sleep in their room. So what is this modeling? This is nothing but a kind of testing again. For example, I was given this software engineering project, and in the past, when I made this project, the same kind of risk came there. So while creating this new project, I'm very assured or very apprehensive of these risks. So this is known as risk modeling. Past me, whatever risk has came, now the same risk if they come, I should be able to handle them properly. So that is why the testing part is present in all these phases in a little bit. Means in every phase of unified process model, you are reading unified process model. In every phase, there will be testing. So clear? इसमें डाउट किसी को? Okay. So now moving forward, what we have seen the basics of OAD. What is object oriented concept? What is analysis? What is design? These things we have seen. Then we saw basics of UML. So lab में we are doing. Then we have seen the unified process model. Okay. Now comes the very basic thing: why you need modeling. Even if you don't know any of these things, just write in your own words why you need modeling. I've explained it tens of times that why you need modeling. It is simply the blueprint of your system. People are very naive that doesn't understand the real coding part. Okay, so it is the simplification of reality. Whatever the actual coding part will look like, we are just showing it through the help of the diagram. It is a hypothetical description. Why hypothetical? What is the difference between hypothesis and through theory? Theorem. What is the difference between hypothesis and a theorem? सुना होगा ना मैथ्स में बचपन में. This is a hypothesis. This is a theorem. Difference क्या होता है दोनों में? Yes. Theorem is proved to be true. If someone has given a theorem, किसी मैथमेटिशियन ने कोई थ्योरम दिया है तो मतलब उसका प्रूफ है, उसने प्रूव की हुई है ये थ्योरम. हाइपोथेसिस इज नॉट समथिंग लाइक दिस. हाइपोथेसिस होता है कि किसी को सपना आया रात में कि मैथ्स में ऐसा ऐसा हो सकता है, सुबह उठ के उसने एक हाइपोथेसिस लिख दी. That these things can happen. Yes, hypothesis, assumptions, supposition, you can say, right? Someone dreamed something in his dream. किसी को सपना आया सुबह उठ के he has written a hypothesis, ऐसा ऐसा होगा, फिर बच्चे पढ़ेंगे वही 20 साल. Because a hypothesis is not wrong until proven wrong. इसमें ये भी दिक्कत है. अगर किसी ने बोल दिया मैथ्स में कि a plus b is 2, सपोज किसी ने ये हाइपोथेसिस दे दी, उसने प्रूव नहीं किया, उसका कंसर्न नहीं है प्रूव करना, उसको तो बस सपना आया, ही प्रूव दिस, ही गिवन दिस. बट ये तब तक दिस इज नॉट आल्सो रॉन्ग जब तक इसको कोई गलत ना प्रूव कर दे. दैट इज आल्सो अ थिंग विद हाइपोथेसिस. तो ये चलता रहेगा तब तक. गेटिंग इट? So that is why modeling is just a hypothetical description, because you haven't actually coded the things. You have just given a model that okay, after my system will be built, it should look something like this. अब वो तो एक्चुअल कोड के बाद पता चलेगा कितना सही है कितना गलत. That is meant by hypothetical description. Okay, so a model is of a system is not the system in itself. Simply एक ही बात को घुमा फिरा के लिखा गया. That model is just the visualization of the actual code. This is simply meant by modeling. And what is modeling? The output of the OAD after you have done all the object oriented analysis, thought the problem, what is my problem, and you have given the solution. That output will be the input to the UML model, and then the model will be created. Okay, again same thing. Why modeling? To visualize the system, to specify the structure behavior. It is a template, it is a decision. Just remember these words, or nahi bhi remember karna, just write in your own words. Okay, you've got the basic essence now. What is modeling? For example, SQL जब पढ़ रहे थे, so before SQL relational algebra भी पढ़ा था, right? और SQL भी छोड़ो, जब actually में DBA में start किया था, you would have read the ER models. So they were what they were showing the visual representation of a system. That system बनने के बाद ऐसा लगेगा. So this is only modeling. ठीक है? Now these, अगर एक general way में if I talk, how many types of models are there? Not in UML. Not in UML I'm talking about. In general, in computer science, if I say there are some models, तो उसका मतलब होता है there can be a class model that will represent what are the classes in your system, what are the objects in your system, those kind of things. Or there can be state model. State model means, suppose I have to perform a ATM transaction. So that will be a state model because I will be at the initial state, ideal state. The enter the card, my state will change. Then it will ask for the pin, my state will change. If my pin is correct, I will reach the final stage. If my pin is incorrect, I will be again sent back. So this is a state diagram. Okay, then comes the interaction diagram. Interaction models. What are interaction models? Suppose I have to place the pizza order. The pizza order diagram of example I've given you earlier. So that is the interaction. Here the user is interacting with the Domino's to place an order. Okay, we will see all these things in detail. Now if I talk about UML modeling types, okay, up tak everything is clear to everyone? Now finally the next thing comes, that is the UML modeling type. One is the structural modeling, another is the behavioral modeling. These two things are syllabus. When I say architectural modeling, it is nothing but जब इन दोनों को combine कर दोगे उसको बोलते हैं architectural modeling. Okay, very simply put, what is structural modeling? This will represent only the static part of your system. For example, class diagram, object diagram, component diagram and deployment diagram. ये चार तरह के आते हैं structural modeling के अंदर. क्यों? Because the class diagram will look something like this. ये एक class है, suppose यहाँ से ये चार classes inherit हुई हैं. These four classes have been inherited from this. So this system is static. अब ये change नहीं होगा. You have drawn this model in the UML. So this is static. यहाँ पे कोई card insert करने पे, गलत password आने पे is changing. The model is static. Everything is fixed. So that is known as structural modeling. Means the static elements of your program. For example, component diagram. Component diagram means what are the components of your system. For example, I am making this security system diagram. So उसमें जितने component लग रहे हैं, suppose 5 component लग रहे हैं. So I will make component 1, component 2, component 3, component 4, component 5. Model हो गया. These components are not interacting और उनका state change नहीं हो रहा. एक बार बना दिया, these are fixed. So these are known as structural model. उसके against आती है behavioral modeling. Behavioral modeling simply means now the system is changing. System is interacting with each other. For example, there is a user who is placing this Domino's order. So he is interacting with the system, placing the order. There is a state diagram. You are making the ATM transaction. So again, you are interacting with the system. So use case diagram, interaction diagrams, collaboration diagrams, activity diagrams, all these comes under behavioral model. और यही तुम लोगों का आगे के मॉड्यूल्स हैं ऑफ दिस सिलेबस. वी हैव टू रीड स्ट्रक्चरल मॉडलिंग डायग्राम्स, वी हैव टू रीड बिहेवियरल मॉडलिंग डायग्राम्स. यहाँ पे पढ़ना है, लैब में यही चीज वी हैव टू ड्रॉ इट. ओके, so we will continue with the next class. Okay, sure. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you.